I personally also think that anybody under the age of consent should not be able to make an account on a social media website.
Absolutely.
Unless it is something that is like YouTube Kids, where you can't like read messages, you can't do anything except for just simply watch videos that are curated for you.
Yeah, or like do that shit where they had, you remember this, what was it, T-Mobile, Your 5? You know, the top 5 where there was like 4 other people that you could message beside yourself for free on instant messaging.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, back in like 2002, 2004 probably.
Yeah.
I feel like social media for kids could be like that, where they had to authenticate that you know these people, that like you have a way to connect them via like contract, like these are related, these are your relatives.
If the requirement to do that, and this is like the thing, it's like basically if you want to have age verification on the internet, you effectively have to remove anonymity.
Yes.
Right? I mean, you could have a third factor authenticator that's doing it as like a third party.
Yeah.
But in general, you basically do have to do, and even with that, you still are removing the anonymity. It's just not going to be doable unless it's maybe a company or the government that's able to figure it out. But in general, I think that people just would rather have anonymity. But if I was a parent, I would probably let my kid have social media, but I would just make sure they're not looking at stupid stuff. Right?
I wouldn't want my child to be in an environment to where they could meet a stranger without me being there. For my kid.
Well, I don't see that. When could that ever happen?
Oh, like Fortnite.
How? Like, I mean, they tell you to like leave the house. I mean, you still like, I mean, that's still within your jurisdiction. You're watching your kid leave the house, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's just, it's hard because I feel like that's the thing that I would struggle out as a parent. And, you know, I'm 30 and I don't have a kid.
Right.
And that's a whole hurdle I'm trying to get around.
Uh-huh.
Thought I was going to have one by 24.
That's crazy, huh?
Oh, well.
How about that?
Yeah, I'll probably have one in the next couple of years or so. We'll see. I just got to find some woman dumb enough to actually want to do that with me. That's gonna be tough. Yeah, it would make me worried if I was a parent and my child would have a way to have social media to where they could watch things that I would deem unhealthy for their mental state or not good for them for where they are currently in their life, or perhaps run into a bad influence on the internet. Like, for example, would you let your kid watch Aiden Ross?
Yeah.
Would you let him watch Andrew Tate?
Sure.
Would you let him watch Donald Trump?
Absolutely.
Would you let him watch LGBTQ woke videos?
Sure. Because like, the thing is that as a parent, your goal is to prepare a kid for the future.
Sure.
And so the future and reality is people like Donald Trump, who's the president.
Yeah.
There are plenty of LGBT people out there. Aiden Ross is also out there. People that act like him or Andrew Tate, they're out there.
They are.
And so the best way to do it is to make sure that you give your kid a set of internal foundational values that they think can protect them from letting these things affect them on a big level.
Sure.
Because like, I know for a fact, like even if you stop your kid from doing it, it's not going to stop, for example, like, oh, well, they're going to go to school. Like I didn't watch Two Girls, One Cup. My friend showed it to me.
Yeah,
right?
same.
And so,
And Tub
exactly.
Girl.
Yeah, of course. And there's like a million other ones. So what's going to happen is that like the kid is going to see these things no matter what. This is going to happen no matter what. So basically it's better to prepare the kid and say, listen, this is the way the world is. Get fucking ready, man the fuck up and deal with it, rather than be like, and protect them and like, oh no, this isn't what's going to happen. Like, I think letting them make the mistakes like that on the internet, like, I mean, aside from like crazy, like weird predator stuff, that's a good thing. And to be able to see that, because that's the real world. That's what they're going to be interfacing with. And as a parent, I think your responsibility, again, is to prepare the kid for the realities of life. And these things are realities.
I got fucked by the internet, man. I had such a crash course.
I didn't at all.
Yeah, you never got catfished?
What do you mean?
You never had like somebody talk to you when you were a kid and they were an adult?
Yeah, sure.
You ever meet up with them?
No.
My ass did. You know what I'm saying? That shit sucked ass, bro. I think my problem is...
Well, like, I think that parents should play an active role in what their kids are doing, right? They shouldn't let their kids do that, for example. Like, you should know that's happening. You should play an active role. But I think that also, like, there's a degree of you can't just kind of keep your kid offline and keep them away from every type of, you know, instance of society occurring outside of, like, maybe a very, very narrow thing that you're pre-approving. That's just not the way to prepare a kid to be an adult, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like parenting is the most important job in the world. And I think I just take it very, very seriously because I see so many shitty fucking parents out there.
There's a lot of them.
I feel like the Nintendo 64 has raised more children than actual people have growing up in my era.
Yeah,
I mean, I was raised by the Deku Tree and fucking Professor Oak. I mean, my parents weren't fucking around at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my mom and dad were around a lot, and they were super active in, like, you know, my growing up, and that's why I kind of have the opinions that I do. And so, you know, like, even beyond that, like, if I was like married or whatever, like, I would be totally fine with, I'm not like a, you know, I wouldn't force somebody to do this, but like, if my wife wanted to stay home and be a housewife and take care of the kids, that's great. I think that's
I also think that's fucking great.
Well, that's the ideal circumstance, because in my opinion, at least, because like my mom was that mom for the neighborhood, and it was such a great enriching experience for like me, and like, and it's not just me, right? It's like all of my other friends. Like, she was everybody's mom, and, you know, we come over and she'd talk with everybody, and so like that value.
That is also like,
I
wish I had a partner that'd be down to do that.
Yeah. And so it's like, I would want to be able to, like, you know, pay it forward and make that happen.
Yeah.
Right. And so to me, that's how I see it, is that if you have like influences like that in your life that are positive, it will cancel out, or at least put into context, the negative influences that will occur no matter what.
You know what I think I would do? Because the more I'm pondering what you're saying, the more I think that's actually a great idea to prepare, not to hide your children from the outside world, but to prepare them for it by exposing them to it and maybe being there with them for it as they discover it and answer any questions they have about it.
Yeah.
And so, like, kind of browsing the internet together, they stumble upon why you should be trans video.
Yeah.
Then they pull up an Andrew Tate, why all gay people should die.
Right.
And then talk to them about it.
Yeah,
and
100%.
Get them informed.
Yeah.
Because I would hate to have a family that ended up like Elon Musk's.
Oh, yeah?